Hello everyone, welcome back to another reading vlog. This month is October, so you guessed it, we're going to be reading some spooky books. I don't know, I always do that for spooky, but just spooky books. So yeah, I have 4 books. That's right, 4 books I want to read. One is not spooky at all because if you don't know by now, I am a scaredy cat and I can't read too many spooky books at once or it'll affect me mentally and it'll affect me in my sleep. So fun. So yeah, let's get on to the books that I'm planning to read. But first, a word from the sponsor of this video, Aura. Aura is an easy to use app that includes everything to help you be safe online. Aura protects you from scammers and hackers by searching the so-called dark web, where criminals sell stolen information. They look for your emails, your passwords, your social security numbers, your bank information, anything they can take, they will take. And in case that happens, Aura alerts you super fast to let you know exactly that has happened and to take the next steps. They also help you fight back against those annoying websites that take your personal information and make them public by automatically requesting removal of your information. It also helps reduce robocalls, which as a person that gets so many robocalls, like it is beyond insanity, and that is that's a luxury we should all have, is to have no more robocalls. And it can give you near real-time alerts, like if you have suspicious credit inquiries or if someone was trying to open up a card or anything under your name, it'll be alerted to you. Their VPN allows you to stay completely anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted, which is a win-win. If you can be safe and encrypted and have your your browsing history and everything to yourself, that is always amazing. It's like a win-win. Win-win. Aura even helps you manage what your kids do on their devices. You can restrict certain apps, you can set screen time limits, or even set like focus times to ensure your child is doing their homework and not on some mindless app. So let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. If you sign up right now, you can get a free 2-week trial using my link. You will be shocked of how much personal information Aura finds exposed over that 2-week period. All you have to do is go to aura.com/bookables to get your 2-week trial. So be sure to check out Aura and to be safe online starting today. It is never too late to start being safe online, believe you me. So like I said, I have 4 books I'm gonna read. I'm gonna start with my spooky ones because let's do it. The first one I'm gonna attempt to read is The Engagement Party by Darby Kane. This one does not come out to December. So do I feel a little bit like cheating that I'm reading this book now? Yes and no. I just feel like it's now the times to read it and I just really want to. It's my first Darby Kane book. I have attempted to read one other book by her and I DNF'd like little of the ways in. It's just how it is. This one really intrigues me because it's kind of being pitched as like for fans of And Then There Were None, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer. I've read it, And Then There Were None, a classic Agatha Christie book, and I've seen I Know What You Did Last Summer, a classic 90s thriller that is not the greatest, but it is fun, and I'm like, you know what? I want to read it. It's basically about this group of people that go to this island in the engagement party. A murder happened many years ago. They find a body in the trunk of a car. Things get dicey. I've seen very mixed reviews about this one, so time will tell on it. I'm going to read one that I think will probably scare the most out of me, and that is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. I've read both of her thriller books before, loved them. My favorite is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and then we have The Last Housewife, which was very dark in the subject matter. It's basically about like cults, and it gets really dicey and very just thought-provoking in a dark way, so I think that's why this one's going to be the same. This one is basically kind of like vampires in a small town that's very religious, so I don't know if religion's going to come into play or not. A dark and powerful novel, an examination of the ways we've come to expect love, religion, and stories to save us, the lengths we have to go in order to take back power, and the monstrous work of being a girl in this world. So like I said, her last book was very thought-provoking and like really affected me mentally, I'm not going to lie to you, so I don't know if this one's going to be the same. So we'll see. And then I have one that will be here tomorrow because it releases tomorrow, and that is My Darling Girl by Jennifer Mcmanhan. I have read, how many books have I read by her? This might be only my second one, but this one I think is going to be hard for me to read because it's very personal to me, the subject matter. It's about this woman that has to take care of her alcoholic mother that also has dementia. If you don't know, I take care of my alcoholic father who also has, you guessed, dementia, which I'm pretty sure probably alcohol is what caused it for this character in this book. It's what caused it for my dad. So it's just, I think it's going to be very dicey for me. But basically, she takes her mother in and she takes care of her, and she thinks that her mother might be possessed by a demon. So I don't have to deal with that fact. That's good on me. Yay, I feel comfort in that. But either way, it sounds like it's going to be freaking scary. So those are the 3 thrillers I'm going to read. And my palate cleanser in between all of them will be this one right here. A very fallish book, Better Hate Than Ever by Chloe Lees. This is kind of the sequel companion novel to her book last year, which I read. I cannot remember the name of it at all. Here's a picture of it, but I did really enjoy it. This one's a take on William Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, which is also like kind of 10 Things I Hate About You, which is like my favorite movie of all time. So I'm not saying this has a lot to live up to, but it does. But either way, I'm honestly going to need a book to like keep me lightheaded through all this darkness, because that is just how I am. So yeah, come along with me as we read these very scary books. Scary to me, probably. We'll have to see. And yeah, hopefully I'll like them. Sorry, this is a weird angle. I'm in my husband's car. It is what it is. So, I'm not gonna lie to you. It has been a full 5 days since I have talked to you guys. I have finished a book since I talked to you guys. I finished The Engagement Party by Darby Kane, and honestly, there's nothing to even say about that book. The Engagement Party by Darby Kane, 2 out of 5. Boring. Didn't like the characters. Didn't care. It reminded me of any other typical like college reunion thriller where not even worth it. Anyway, I moved on to my next book, and that is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. And it took me a while to pick this one up because honestly, the last book I read by Ashley Winstead, The Last Housewife, I really enjoyed, but it was very dark and got into my head a lot. So I was very worried about this one, and I think it might go in that direction. But so far, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm only about 20% of the way in. It's about a character named Ruth, and she lives in this place called Bottom Springs, Louisiana, and it's like a very Christian I always struggle with this word, fundamentalist. I can never get that, fundamentalist. They're very, very strict religious. And I always struggle with those books because if you guys don't know, I'm a Christian and I'm not nearly a fundamentalist at all. Like oh my gosh, people like that kind of scares me. But I always worry when books kind of bring that up because I don't know how they're going to put that, because I think it tends to be in a harsh light. But I mean, this town, they're very, very strict. Ruth's dad is the preacher who preaches. He's one of those preachers that preaches like hell and brimstone, and like if you do this you're going to hell, and stuff like that. There's no like salvation and things like that. It's just it's like one of those really strict Southern Baptist churches, which are just intense. Anyway, Ruth lives there, and she meets a guy named Everett, who is kind of like the town's outcast. They call him like the devil son. And basically in this town, there's one thing that people fear just as much as the devil and God in this town, and that is the low man, this kind of vampire figure, which I don't know. We haven't got to that part quite yet, but basically this book is told in 2 timelines. Ruth is now 23. It goes back to when she first met Everett, when when they were 17, and they kind of committed a crime together, and it's kind of coming to fruition now. And you know, things are starting to go a little eerie. There's a little bit of maybe this town's got like some demonic witchcraft vampire thing going on. I don't know, but it's not quite as intense so far as The Last Housewife, so I'm enjoying it. Also, there's a lot of talk about Twilight in this book, which is very surprising. Wasn't expecting that. You know, Ruth, like, this town is so locked down on any secular things. Like, can't listen to secular music, can't read secular books, you know, all that kind of stuff. So Ruth would, like, go through the donation bin at the town's library, and that's where she found a copy of Twilight. And of course, like any other teenage girl, myself included, became obsessed with it and the idea of love and Edward. And not to say this book isn't super dark yet, because it does deal with attempted the R word, I'll just say that, and that was very intense to read about. But it's not, you know, I think The Last Housewife was just all around, all completely very heavy, and this one I think will go in that direction, but it's not there yet. But I am enjoying it so far. We'll have to see. I'm on my way to dinner with a couple of girlfriends right now, and I actually am child free, so I thought, hey, why not try to vlog for a little bit. So that is my update currently. I'll update you tomorrow, maybe the next, who knows. Vlogs are they're just gonna be what they are. Am I doing this in my husband's car at a horrible angle on my phone? Yes, but it's like the only time I have to do it, so you know, mom life. But I'm gonna have some good girl time with two of my best friends and eat some delicious food while we're sitting out on the dock, like kind of dock area. But what do you know? I'm here with an update. I have not quite finished Midnight is the Darkest Hour, but I am very close. I'm about 70% of the way through on my Kindle, and honestly, like, I don't know what I feel about it. Like, I am very interested in it. We're getting to kind of, there's a lot of little mysteries in this, and there's like one big tethering mystery, and there's a whole bunch of different ropes, I guess you could say, or strings that go along with this mystery that I am invested in, but I feel like it's kind of going slow. As I told you guys, it's told from like the present point of view of Ruth and Everett, and then kind of going into the past, like sometimes when she's 15, sometimes when she's 17, she's 18, she's 23 now, and some of the flashbacks I think are relevant to the story, some I think are not. I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's going to be a 5-star for me. Well, I don't know. See, Ashley Winstead, like when I was reading her first thriller ever, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, throughout the book I was enjoying it. I was like, this is a solid thriller. I do really enjoy it. And then like the last couple chapters came that just definitively bumped it up to a 5-star for me, which she kind of does, you know, she kind of does those big twists, and they're really good twists. So maybe that will happen for this book. Right now it's teetering between like a 3.5 to a 4.5. Like, that's a big margin of what it can go to. Overall, like, it's definitely got this kind of gothic sense to it. If you hear that, my son's using my phone in the background. It just goes to my ringtone sometimes while he's swinging, and listen to Spotify too. But anyway, it's definitely like a tale of a gothic kind of thriller about a southern town that's very Baptist. Like, the church is like Holy Fire Reborn Again, which should give you a clue that they're very, very strict religious, like fundamentalist Christians, like Baptists that are just rigid. They don't let anybody leave. Like, the things that Ruth's dad, because he's the pastor, preacher, whatever, has like let happen to women especially is astounding. I think we're going to get a little bit more into that. I think one of the big reveals will be that. But either way, I am enjoying it, but it's a lot different than what I thought it was going to be. Much like her last book. I was like, oh, cult's interesting, but I was like, man, that book is freaking bananas and intense and affected me a lot. This one, I don't know. I'm going to try to finish it here. Hopefully while my daughter's napping and I just have my son, and I can try to muster through the last 30%, and I'll let you know definitively, I guess I really like that word today, what my feelings are on it. Hello everybody. So yesterday I did manage to finish Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead, and I have mixed feelings on it. Like, I didn't love it, sadly. I would probably still give it, I think my definitive rating is 4 out of 5. I think it definitely has a lot of different things in it. It's a small southern town where women are kind of treated lesser than. It's like the boys will be boys and whatever women do is like the biggest mortal sin. And it's kind of also got a Bonnie and Clyde element to it with Ruth and Everett. And one thing I didn't enjoy is their friendship. So clearly they are so in love with each other from like when they turn friends, and it's just like, it's so obvious to everyone else but them, you know, and it's just like, and
you're into him and he's into you, and Shane, who by the way should be listening to this because it's so damn obvious.
What's obvious? What did I do?
Everyone could see, Rory. Everyone.
Took forever for it to happen, and you didn't even get to enjoy it because then the ending came, and the ending is definitely very left open-ended. It's ambiguous, where the reader kind of decides what you think their fate, what you think will happen at the end. And I didn't love the ending, but I didn't hate it. Overall, it was a 4 out of 5. Like, I don't think it's her strongest thriller book. I still like her first thriller book. Still, it was a solid one, full of kind of dark southern town. It does have some paranormal vibes with kind of this very fire and brimstone Baptist church, and just, it was okay. I didn't love it, sadly, so a 4 out of 5. So I have since then actually started my second read of this vlog. Please forgive me, I took the dust jacket off. My Darling Girl by Jennifer Mcmanhan. I'm only 40 pages in, and it's already really creepy, and I feel like this is gonna hit me hard. I told you guys it's about an alcoholic mother that has dementia and has to live with her daughter, and I'm like, this is me. Well, we'll just have to see. I think it's gonna be intense, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So these are going to be the only 2 spooky books I read, I think, for this month, because I think I'm just overly kind of spooked out. I don't know. I feel like I've read some darker books for this fall already, and I'm kind of ready to just go on some lighter, like, fall romances. I might do a vlog about that. I don't know. But either way, that's my update for right now. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I finish this book in a relatively fast pace. Oh my gosh, this book is freaking bananas. I'm on page 120 maybe. I'm like almost halfway through, and crap is hitting the fan, like for reals. Like, it's an intense book. It's reminding me of what I felt when I read kind of How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, where it got that kind of creepy, dark feeling, and I'm like, kind of nervous to get in bed tonight. Yay! It shows me how much of a scaredy cat I am. I did not think this would be this intense, but it is. I, for one, have been telling you guys the wrong thing, number one. I've told you guys that Allison, has a mom who's been an alcoholic that was recently diagnosed with dementia. I was wrong. She was recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So, it's a little different than my situation. But, you know what I'm saying? She's got weeks left to live. And so she asks, you know, Allie to come live with her. And she does. And, you know, it's some weird junk going on. Like, weird junk that I would be like, no, I'm done. Like, bye. Like, her mom is saying things that she'll be like her mom one second, like, just kind of nice. And then she'll say, like, I'm not your mother. And weird things, like, really creepy, dark things start happening. And I'm like, I don't know how she hasn't even had the thought yet that there's a demon in her mom. It's not spoiling anything. You can tell by the thing that, you know, that she thinks there's a demon in her mom. And if this ain't a demon, I don't know what the crap's going on, man, because it is crazy. I'm gonna try to power through this, because if I'm honest with you, I am kind of over the spooky reads at this point. This is why I don't read a ton of them, because they seep into my, like, you know how some people cannot be affected by that? They're kind of, I don't want to say desensitized. I am I'm not. I really get affected by kind of scary things, sad things. It really affects me. So it's like, I will tell you, this is on par to be a 5-star book for me because it's so intense, so visceral, so emotionally kind of draining for me. Like it's well written. Jennifer Mcmanhan writes really well, but dang, this is much scarier than her last book that I read, The Children on the Hill. Is that what it was called? That one was not that scary. Like, that was kind of like a psychological thriller in my opinion. This is like straight up horror in my opinion. That's just me. Maybe, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But I'm gonna try to finish this by tomorrow because I want to be done with it and move on to like brighter, happier things, and maybe have a vlog where it's like not really scary things, you know? I have some more thoughts really quickly just because I feel like I should mention them. So, number one, Allison in this book has 2 daughters. One is Izzy, she's 16, and the other one is Olivia, she's like 6, so there's a big age difference there. Izzy is horrible. She is in the midst of being a typical 16-year-old, rebelling, being mean, and making me want to punch her in the face, honestly. Like, I do not like her. She backtalks, she tries to gaslight her family, she's like trying to film a documentary of everything that's going on, and there's some creepy stuff already going on. And I should also say that there's this stone involved. So basically, Allison's mom that has come live with them has this really beautiful stone, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a big quartz kind of stone that's clear, that has all this black stuff going through it. And I am not kidding you, she treats this stone like it is the freaking ring from Lord of the Rings. You know, like Gollum, when he has it, he's like, my precious. He's obsessed with it. It has turned him insane. And I'm like, this stone is gonna be the root of the evil here because, like, it's just very evil. She talks about how her friend Bobby got the stone, and then when Bobby passed away, it came to Allison's mom, and I think that's when Allison's mom really started taking a turn with drinking. So I'm like, this stone has got to be some part of this. There's got to be. I don't think it's supposed to spoil anything. I don't think so, but either way, the daughter's horrible. I can't stand her. And this stone, I would throw this stone. I would travel to Mount Doom and throw this stone in. That's what I would do. I'd make that journey to never see this stone again because I guarantee you it's a big deal. Also, I'm watching the Braves and the Phillies, which is like, if you didn't know, Braves and the Phillies have a pretty intense rivalry, and it's just, I'm not faring well with this. I don't think we're doing do good. If you don't know, I'm a Braves fan. My husband's a Braves fan, so yeah. And Phillies, I love, if you're from Philadelphia, you're a Phillies fan, I think you're great. Well, my best friend, actually, her husband and her are Philly fans, and we always text. You guys have a very intense fan base. Like, I would be legitimately scared to go to a Phillies game since I'm a Braves fan. Do I think we're going to fare well with this? Not at all. It's probably going to be really bad. It's game 3, and we're already losing, so no pressure. Hello. Hi, welcome to the last official clip of this vlog. I literally, I mean literally, just finished My Darling Girl by Jennifer Mcmanhan. And my gut reaction, my gut rating is a 5 out of 5. I was not expecting that at all, but this book was intense, thought-provoking, creepy as mess. Easily one of the creepiest books I've ever read. Like, the thought of a demon possessing your mother, and the ending, oh my gosh, I wish I could tell you, but I can't, so I won't. But let's just say this book was amazing. It's about familiar relationships, about a daughter that wants to try to fix her relationship with her mom, who she's been strained with for forever, and you get to learn why it's been strained, because maybe her mom's been possessed by a demon for like 30 years, no big deal. And it was intense, it was short, it was the perfect amount, it wrapped up really good. I was never bored with it. I was invested in it. Honestly, 5 out of 5. I loved it. If you want a creepy book to read right before Halloween, this is a great one for it. Like, even the cover of it doesn't look super creepy. Like, I didn't think it would be, but if this is not made into a movie, it really should be. I think it would be a great horror movie. Will I watch it? No. So there it is. So yeah, I said I was going to read 4 books for this vlog. Technically, I read 3 because I think I told you guys, in my first update clip, it's been 5 days since I had originally filmed, and The reason for that, I never told you, is because, like, I'm sure, like, a lot of people's, you know, when their kids go back to school, when it gets to be fall, the crud hits your house and just travels from person to person in the house. Like, my son got sick, and then my husband got sick, my daughter got sick, and then now she's sick again. She has an ear infection, and everybody in this house is just congested right now, so it's just a lot of sickness traveling. So that's why I didn't vlog. But I read The Engagement Party by Darby Kane. I didn't really tell you much about it because, honestly, I did not enjoy it. Wouldn't even recommend, sad to say, 2 out of 5. So then I read Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. It was interesting. I didn't love it. I still stick by my rating of 4 out of 5. It was interesting, I'll say that. And then My Darling Girl by Jennifer Mcmanhan, 5 out of 5. Super spine chilling, like spine tingling, whatever you want to call it. Just creepy to the core. I don't know, maybe I'm like a wimp and everyone thinks this is like middle grade scares, but for me, it was freaking scary. So that's my official wrap on like spooky reads. I think I have like 2 more technically on my TBR that I wanted to read this month because it was like, you know, it's October, it's spooky reads, but I realized that I can only do them in small doses because I'm a scaredy cat. I think the ones I was gonna read are The Night House by Joan Nesbin, which I've heard is kind of like YA, so I might attempt that one, and then Starling House by Alex Harrow, I believe. I don't know. Those are the only 2 I think that are on my TBR that are really spooky. But right now, after reading this and how much of an emotional, like, it affected my sleep. I told you, man, this drunk stuff like this gets into my head. I'm gonna read some light, fluffy fall romances to get my mood and stuff equalized. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I always have grand notions for vlogging and then they kind of fall short because I am not the best vlogger. Who's surprised? Not me. But I'm wearing my Scooby-Doo shirt today. Feels appropriate. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next vlog, probably next month, because I like to do one of these a month because they're probably boring enough for only one a month. I'll see you guys soon.